welcome. We're so happy you're here.
We don't know what episode it is, but it's supposed to be your favorite one.
Your favorite
okay?
one.
Sorry for getting a little thuggish on you.
Who are you?
I am Leonie.
And I am Crystal-Dior.
She always has to reel me back in. I be ready to turn up, guys. She be trying to get the business.
Like,
I'm here to party.
She is here to party. Well, welcome, y'all. Clearly, we're excited.
Yes.
Per usual, we're here with the giggles and the goals.
Yes.
Our topic today is mindset hacks.
Mindset hacks.
How to level
How
up
to
your
hack your
thinking.
mind. Okay, we both said two different things, but yes, level up, hack minds, hack your mind.
Yeah. So let's start with these one-liners. You go first.
Okay, my one-liner is, if a transformed mindset was a competition, I'd be the champion.
That's good.
Mm-hmm. See, I've been coming with them. See, but I don't have to gloat because I already know who I am. I know
I've been humble the last 2 episodes.
You have been humble because she ain't got none.
Let's only talk junk when I can back it, okay?
Right.
I didn't prepare one for y'all, so we about to do it right now.
Pick one like I did when I picked Karen Huger's one.
I don't think I know any of them. Okay. We're ready? Okay.
Yeah, here we go. This is off the cuff, y'all.
Okay, yeah. Mic check. Is this on? Okay. Okay. Y'all ready? Okay. I have nothing. Nothing's coming to my mind.
When a battle rapper is about like doing too much, you're like,
okay,
ready. This is gonna be whack.
Ready. Okay. I got it. Okay. Mind over matter matters every time.
Period. Okay. Let's move on, guys. We just glaze right over that. Okay. Today, like we said, we're talking about mindset hacks.
Well, it's my quote week.
Oh, yes, I got a guess.
And this is a good one. You're gonna be so excited.
Oh, okay.
Okay, who said that? It's my week. So you ready?
Who said that?
You're gonna really be excited. Like I did this for you.
Oh.
Okay. We need to reshape our perspective on how we see ourselves in the world. We could do anything. Oprah? We need to Nope. You want the clues?
Yes.
Okay. She is a country artist.
Beyonce.
Dang!
Immediately.
I literally did not give you I didn't say she's a new country artist. I didn't say anything.
She's the only one with a country album right now.
No, there's a whole genre of people with country albums.
I don't know them. So I know Beyonce.
You like the fact that your brain went there so quick blows my mind.
I know
Beyonce. I had 3 clues ready for you.
What were the other ones?
The other one was like she was a country artist.
Okay.
She what else did I say? She does a lot of features with artists of different genres.
Okay.
I was trying to give you something so you wouldn't know right away. I was gonna say she's a mother.
Mm-hmm.
She's a wife.
Mm-hmm.
What else did I have?
I guess all those could have been like Reba.
That's why I was trying to like not have you jump to it right away.
But Beyonce's country's on the mind right now because she's got a country album. Yes.
All right.
Well, she thought it was gonna be popping. I mean, it was popping because it was Beyonce, but other than that, it wasn't nothing popping about it.
Yes, that was her quote. So, I think Beyonce is probably one of the best when it comes to her mindset. Like watching her movie, the behind the scenes of the concert. Yes. And how she is just.
First of all, where is it? Why don't we have it available to watch?
I wonder why. Maybe she's gonna drop it on DVD or something.
What if she doesn't drop it at all? That would be very Beyonce of her if she just never gave it to us.
That's what Disney does. They put stuff in the vault, then bring it back out. Like maybe she's gonna.
Beyonce should have her own streaming network.
Isn't that what her husband got?
That's like for music though.
Oh.
I'm talking about other things. Anyway.
Well, one thing, even watching like This Is Us, like back in the day when Michael Jackson, that's kind of who first did the whole behind the scenes of a concert.
Okay.
Even watching that and how he's so like, he don't come to play. Like he knows his vision. He executes it well.
Like we're here to work.
He instructs people well, but does it with kindness, but he's not like, don't play with me. Right. Don't play with me. You know what I mean? Yeah, that type of mindset, that's how people like come with excellence. And Beyonce got the same thing. So
yeah, love it. Yeah,
I had to give her some love because
I know because we're not gonna go on the tangent.
But like
we already said, there will be no Beyonce slander on this podcast. Period. We're just gonna leave it at that. Moving on. Okay, so so you talked about who you admire, whose mindset you admire. You said Michael Jackson when he was doing his This Is It, and then Beyonce when she's in her like work mode.
Yeah.
Someone I admire her mindset a lot is Tabitha Brown. Her story just moves me so much.
Yeah.
she shared a video of when like she was, because she said God told her to start making these videos. She didn't know why. That's her story. And she has this one of these videos she posted recently where she's a throwback, where she was like, she was doing the video and she was like, I'm doing these videos, y'all, and I don't know why. It's only a couple of y'all on here watching, and I don't know why. God told me to do this, but I'm doing it. And now you see where she is today. Like every dream she ever had has come true beyond that. And like just how her whole message is about your mindset, where she's like, if you go out there and have a good day, if you can't have a good day, don't go and mess up somebody else's. Like she's all about the positivity and like having healthy mindset, healthy living. And even when she was at her lowest, when her health was bad, when she wasn't making any money, she was driving Uber or whatever, she still was in the mindset of like, there's still something more for me. And I'm still going to put my steps towards what that more is.
There's so much power in it. I think we miss that in how we speak to ourselves. Like I could tell she speaks to herself positively. I could tell she looks in the mirror and like, you the boss. Like that makes a difference. And I think we think it's corny or it doesn't matter. And maybe the first couple of times it is corny, but eventually you start believing it. But if you're telling yourself you can't do it and I'm not going to make it, or my dream isn't going to really happen, or I don't have enough to do that, that will start to become your reality. What you spend the most time on is what you are. What you water is what grows. So I agree. I love her mindset. She seems so positive and so not like toxic positivity
where you're just like you're on a high horse, or you put yourself on like,
or like you just can't be real.
The
like
pedestal.
People have bad days, you know what I mean? So you don't want like that toxic, like I'm not gonna call out, maybe I am, like Joel Osteen, right?
Oh, I don't be paying attention to him. What does he do?
He's fine. He's just like extremely positive to where you're like, really?
He's always got that like corny, cheesy smile.
And like, mind you, I'm sure his word is good. I'm not trying to speak on God's people, but I'm just like, sometimes it's like, I need you to be real with it. Like, tell me about your bad day and how you overcame the bad day.
But the thing is, what if he's like, I have bad days? Because he seems like he's always smiling. Yes. So it's like his bad days still come with a smile.
Yeah, it be making me a little suspicious though. Okay. People who are that happy, I'm like, I bet you be like keeping people in your basement. Like,
oh my God.
I just be like eyeing them. Like,
allegedly, we don't know what Joel Osteen's doing.
Not him.
Things are coming out about people this year, and we don't
not
need
him, not Joel. But in general, people who are like that, and it's like no one is happy. Even Jesus wept. You know what I mean? So I'm just like, you have all, and mind you, I'm a pretty happy person. I'm happy a lot of the time, but you know. But anyway,
even Jesus flipped the table, so.
Right? But I think Tabitha's balance of it, she's just real.
Yeah, right.
And she just knows how to like spin it.
You can make light of a bad situation without being like overly like
dramatic in either direction.
Yeah.
Yeah. Next person, which I'm happy you picked him because we were born in the same week.
Oh.
Kanye.
Okay, so that's a mindset that I would say I do not admire. Because aside, mental health issues aside, what he speaks, his point of view is extremely self-centered, and I feel like it's limited. Even though he has access to a lot of things, I feel like his point of view is really limited.
I have mixed feelings about Kanye. Because I think that he's brilliant. I think he's very innovative. I think that he is very creative. Like his first album was probably one of the best albums. Like he's a smart man. And I appreciate his confidence in himself. I appreciate that. I just think he has now crossed the line into arrogance.
Yeah.
And I don't like that. I don't like his arrogance or his instability, which is not all him. Part of that's his mental illness. But I do appreciate his belief in himself. Yeah. And I feel like I want to adopt a little bit more of that. Like Kanye thinks Kanye could do anything.
But where that becomes he does anything. Is that you're so arrogant about your abilities that you will stomp on other people, and you think that your vision is the only thing worth executing.
There's a balance of, like, I was even watching a thing about like they've been talking about J-Lo lately a lot on social media. Because she dropped that musical movie thing. Okay. I'm not a fan, but I like J-Lo enough. I don't not like her. She's okay. Right. But they're saying how she has this career based on talents that other people do so much better than her.
Oh, she does. I mean, she does have she dances, she sings, she acts, but she doesn't do any of those out of 10.
But she is the top in her industry. But they're saying it's because she is, what do they call it? They said she is deliriously confident that she can do anything.
I love that.
And I love that too. And I think sometimes we think being humble is the way to go, but sometimes that messes with your head too.
But also,
I believe in humility, but I don't think you should. Sometimes I think we confuse humility with low self-esteem a little bit.
Yeah.
And you can be humble, meaning you're not thinking you're better than anybody, but you need to think that you're the best.
You are
You know
the
what I
best.
mean?
Like, you're the baddest, you're the cutest,
Yeah,
you're
but
the
I'm not
whatever.
comparing to you. I just know I'm up here. Now you be up here with me,
Right.
but you have to really have that delirious confidence.
But here's the thing, I want to counter that, because J-Lo is still good at things.
She's good.
She's still good at stuff. You know, she still has stage presence. That's one thing. She may not be a 10 at all those other, things, but she has stage presence.
Yeah.
She's beautiful. She can attract people. She probably has an energetic vibe. So there's people who are like on, remember American Idol? And those people who were deliriously confident and could not sing a note, but they were serious about it.
Yeah.
Like, there is still a level of her ability to bring in people into her world, even though she's not a 10 at those things.
Yeah, but most of those, like, really, I mean, even Beyonce, she's probably deliriously confident in herself, right? And I think it works. Like, I think there's a balance of it. Like, know what you're kind of have some type of talent in, but once you know what you're good at, you have to be like, I can do this. Like, our podcast is gonna be the best podcast. Like, you have to be.
This is the best podcast. The best podcast, number one.
Like, but you have to kind of say it. You have to speak it. I mean, not me being a church girl, but I am. But like powering your tongue, like you have to speak these things. They call it something else now. What do they call it?
Manifesting,
but OG Bible powering your tongue, right? Speak these things. I think that's kind of what these artists are doing. Like, they just believe that they're the best, and we believe them,
and eventually
people
will believe you too. I said that in a few podcasts ago, where it's like, keep doing what you're doing, because the non-believers, if you just keep doing it, they'll be like, I guess there is something to that. People don't really know how to make up their minds until you tell them what to think.
Yeah, because even like before Kanye became this version of him, like earlier Kanye, he's always been very confident in himself. And honestly, I think where he went to the arrogance, he didn't have like anyone to ground. He didn't have anyone to ground him once his mom left, right? You need to have people around you who can kind of keep you.
I mean, we say that. I mean, that is true. Like, there is again that mental health aspect of it, which could have taken to another world, like made him spiral. But it's like, it's kind of like a thing where you can't use that as an excuse all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you're growing up, for instance, and you're like, my parents didn't give me this, they didn't give me that, blah, blah, blah. But you're 20-something, 30-something, 40-something now. All that, the last 20 years of your life, it's been up to you.
Yeah, but most arrogant people don't even know they're arrogant, so they can't fix it. You know what I mean? Like, they're not aware, and like Diddy's arrogant. Like, he's not aware. Now he's probably aware that he's
not aware.
But
that is yet to be
some
determined.
people were in there that, especially in the industry, when people are just telling you like, yeah, you kind of lose track of reality a little bit. I think that's kind of what happened with Kanye. But OG Kanye, he was always confident. Before he was Kanye, that's how he became Kanye, because he was so confident in his skill. Even though he wasn't a gangster rapper and he wasn't talking about this, he was like, I have something to say, and he believed in himself. So I like his level up thinking. It just, you got to kind of take what you need and leave what you don't.
Exactly. When it's like there's extremes. It's like he's on the extreme of confidence. But I don't want him to be insecure in any way. But there's the way you put your energy out.
Yeah, believe in yourself.
Important. Yes. And then there's the other side where it's like, not confident at all. Where it's like, don't be on either extreme.
Right. But you have some more tips for how to level up your
mindset, right? So, when for the number one thing, I think, is something I really don't like doing, but I've been doing it a lot lately, because I really want the best information is inside of a book. And so when you really want to level up your thinking, finding things to read, that's like fiction and nonfiction books. So something that I've been trying to get into is some more nonfiction things, because I read a lot of business books. I read a lot of things on like self-help, motivation, all that stuff. But I want to get into something that's really like, attention grabbing, that's always about business or something to apply, just something just to read, just to sharpen your mind and help you to be imaginative and think, and like have wider visions and thoughts.
Yeah, and that's true, because sometimes like you can be confident, like hype yourself up, but you need to make sure you're educating yourself and you know what's happening. I think you're always more confident when you feel prepared, or you feel informed, or you feel like you have the tools. So reading is one of those ways you pick up tools, you pick up thinking, you pick up new ways to broaden your horizons, and that gives you confidence.
It's like exercising for your mind. Like, it's
Yeah.
like when you read, especially reading things that are more difficult, it just
Mhm.
kind of helps you exercise your brain,
Mhm.
the way you would use weights to exercise your muscles.
Yeah. I
Mhm.
know for me, like, one way that I think I level up my thinking, this is so everyday routine things that I do. I'm not like a big I like to make achievable goals for myself. Like,
Mhm.
even with reading books, like, I know I'm not gonna read 12 books a year. Like, it's not gonna happen.
Right, right.
So I set
3,000 books a year beyond Cat Williams level.
it's not gonna happen. So I'm like, let me be realistic. So for me, the everyday thing, I love music.
Okay.
So I'm mindful of like figuring out a playlist that I know keeps my mind positive, keeps me
Mhm.
confident, motivates me. Even if it's audiobooks, maybe that's something you listen to. If you're like, I'm not a reader,
Yes.
I can't sit here and just pick up a book and read it. I don't have
Mhm.
time or my brain just I'll do an audiobook or I'll
Mhm.
do an inspirational TED talk. Things like that that I'm like pouring into myself in ways that are achievable and attainable for me.
Right.
And it works. It helps
This
keep me
podcast is gonna be great for you to listen to when you try to sharpen
look at
your
her being like
mindset.
me. Yes, subscribe, subscribe,
Yes.
subscribe. But that helps. So yeah, books, audiobooks, music, whatever you can do to keep yourself in a positive place,
Right.
I think it's good.
And the reason why this is important is that it helps improve your focus. It
Mhm.
helps you to, when you're reading something, if you're focusing on listening to something, it helps you slow down the a lot of information that we're inundated with a lot,
Mhm.
and keeps you able to focus on
Yeah.
something.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mhm.
You had another one.
Prayer and meditation.
Oh yes.
Yes. So the thing that I've learned in this season in my life is I've always, like, read devotionals or read the Bible or something like that.
Mhm.
But with one thing I've been doing is meditating. And I've done stretches. So it's like stretching and breathing, and I like
Mhm.
sit and I meditate. And I normally do this after I read a devotional or
That's
something.
good.
And instead of my prayer just being like sedentary, but like I'm basically praying through movement in
That's
a
good.
way. And so that helps me to slow down. And
Mhm.
then I'm able to, my even though I'm not thinking about anything when I'm meditating, it helps me to think better afterwards throughout the
Okay.
day.
That's good.
Hmm.
I know one thing I do when it comes to similar to that, I know which scriptures in the Bible kind of pour into me in a positive way, and I pull those out and I have them on cue cards or I have them on my screensaver. I have them like one of my friends will write it on the mirror in her
Hmm.
bathroom, and
Hmm.
so she's like meditating on these things, reminding herself who God says she is and who she like just little scriptures that are just throughout the Bible that kind of are affirming, and she just keeps them throughout her house. And I feel like even that, like post-it
Yeah,
notes, like
just reminders.
little encouragements, especially on
Hmm.
rough days, because some
Yes.
days you don't feel like praying and you don't feel like meditating because you're in the thick of it. So just having stuff that's already around your house kind of just forces you to remember, like, this too shall pass. I can do it. I will overcome this.
Yeah.
Tomorrow's better. Like just
Hmm.
positive little affirmations that you can say to yourself. That
Yeah.
100% helps me.
So the next thing that's important to after prayer meditation, thought replacement.
Mhm.
I'm still doing some research on this, and you probably know more about this as a
Mhm.
therapist. But when you're trying to keep yourself in a positive mindset,
Mhm.
when you're trying to keep your mindset refreshed so that you could achieve the goals that you have in
Mhm.
life, and not constantly getting down on yourself, or
Mhm.
you know swirling in a pool of being in a lack of motivational
Mhm.
state type of thing.
Mhm.
When you have those thoughts that are robbing you of your goals, the things that are feeding to your upper limit issues,
Mhm.
be aware of those and replace that. When you have like, I'm lazy, I'm not lazy, I'm resting, and I get after my goals,
Mhm.
like those type of
Yeah,
things.
there's actually an activity that I love to do.
Hmm.
Um, and it can not just work. It can work with anything. It can work with anxiety. It can work with trust issues. It can work whatever it is. You write down the negative thought that you're having. You write it down the left. You make columns. You write it on the left column. Like it could be like I'm always going to make this much money.
Mm.
I'm never going to break out of poverty. I'm never going to not be paycheck to paycheck. Or I'm never going to get my dream car. Whatever these thoughts are that you might not say them, but you think them, write them out in one column. In the other column, write what you know is true,
Yeah.
right? I know that I can just get another job and make more money. I know there's opportunity for me out there. I know that if I save up this much, I can get my dream car. I know, like, write down what you know, and in the third column, you write down what's the differences between these two things, right? One of them is a lie, one of them is the truth. But sometimes you have to physically see that something's a lie. Because when it's just in your head and you're not seeing it or saying it, it doesn't feel like it's happening, but it is, right? It doesn't feel real, but it's literally eating your confidence. So sometimes doing activities like that and writing it out and countering it, seeing yourself counter this lie, counter it, even if you want to write out 20 things for every lie. Like I'm not going to be a successful business owner, but I can because of this.
Right.
Like sometimes you have to physically reverse what your mind is trying to tell you. Like there's this theory called the power of yet, and it's small things, small words that you can replace in your sentence that can change how you see the world.
Yeah.
So, I don't have a job yet. I don't have enough money yet. I don't have my dream house yet. I haven't been to Jamaica yet, right? And it puts like what is it, the semicolons at the end of your sentence instead of it being a period. And so it's important that you just little words like that can change everything. Like just the power of yet. Or I mean every time you say I can't, say yet. I can't yet. Like just add it. Don't let these negative words sit alone.
Right.
Put
And
something
let
next
that
to
be
them.
like your commandments or whatever. Like you are what is the poem? I think it's like you're the master of your own ship, destiny or something like that. You're the captain of your own ship, master of your destiny or something like that.
Yeah.
And remember that even though you may have been doing something for the last 30 years, your mindset may be a certain way for the last 50 years. You can change it today.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be that way forever.
Yeah. And I'm a full believer if it happened for someone else, it can happen for you.
Right.
So if you find yourself even feeling jealous or envious, like someone's doing or having what you want, if it happened for them, it can happen for you. So figure out what they're doing differently. Maybe it's their mindset. Maybe it's how they're moving. Maybe it's their action items each day.
It can also just be timing. Understand that just because something isn't happening right now, that doesn't mean it's never going to happen. So don't get in your mind where it's like, oh, it hasn't happened yet. So it's just, I'm just going to write it off.
Yeah.
That's the power of yet.
Yeah. Because there's no reason why it isn't happening for you. So if there's a reason for it, it's either it's not for you, so there's something better for you, or it's coming. It hasn't happened yet.
Exactly.
You know?
So remember that. Don't get down on yourself.
Don't. Give yourself grace.
Okay. The next thing for mindset, gaining understanding. This is important for me specifically because a lot of times I could hear something and I hear it partially or it goes through my filter and it's not what I hear is not what the person meant to say. And then or just in anything that could just be in not even just in personal relationships, when you watch TV, when you're out and about in life. Gaining understanding is important to help you with your stress levels. It's important to help you with how you navigate how you navigate through the world and how that affects how you regulate your emotions. So if you are constantly a high emotional person and you're frustrated and you're upset a lot, that plays on your mindset and then it could put you into a negative thought process. But if you are moving through life with the intent to gain understanding of why somebody said this or what is the reason for A, B, and C, and you ask and you come with an inquisitive mindset that can help you with processing things so that it can help better your mindset.
Yeah. I think that's huge. And even when gaining understanding, I think we always talk about that. Like, don't be the person who's always talking and wanting to be understood.
Yeah.
Put yourself in a position of listening and wanting to understand because it literally changes how you see the world and your stress levels and how you interact with people and how you motivate yourself. It changes everything.
Even gaining understanding for where you are in the season in your life.
Yeah.
Instead of it being for a long time, I would look at circumstances as like, this is happening to me and woe it's me and I'm never going to get this and I'm never going to get that job and I'm never going to make this type of money. For years, I was like, I'm never going to get married type of thing. None of these dates are working out. And when I realized that I'm in this specific season for this specific time. This will pass, and having that understanding changes the way you move through things. Everything isn't such a rush at that point, but you could sit in the season you're in and enjoy that season.
And it sounds so cliche when people say like, maybe it's just not the time for you. Maybe it's just not your season. But that's real. When we try to force things, it delays us. So you're trying to force and thinking you're leveling up your mind. I'm leveling up my life. I'm making it happen for me. And
Right.
yes, I
Do
don't.
not manufacture your own
No, because
blessings.
it's not what you
Do not do
want. It's
that.
real counterfeit. It's real like fake coin, you know?
Mhm.
I'd rather do what I'm supposed to do, be obedient, do the actions, and just let my timing happen when my timing comes. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like, I want the husband that God has for me. I don't want these little bums that I might pick, right? You know what I mean? Like, I want who God has, because if I get what I've been picking,
Hear that? You're a bum.
you's a
Okay.
bum. You know who
You's
you
a
are.
bum.
You's a bum. But like, no, like I'm like, you know what? Yes, I want my family, but I want my family. I don't
Mhm.
want a family that I'm creating that's not
Yeah.
gonna be right for me, right?
Mhm.
So I think
Mhm.
we say it, but we don't mean it. But I think it's important to really mean it. Like you really
It's
want
hard, and none
your
of this is
stuff.
easy. None of this
No.
is like, "Okay, I'll just do this tomorrow." Like, there's a lot of internal
Yeah.
things that desires that you wanna have, that you
Yeah.
wanna get, and you've been and you don't we don't take the time to adjust our mindset
Yeah.
and realizing that you think it's your actions that get you where you wanna get, but if your actions will change to do the things you actually wanna do when your mindset falls in line.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Even like
saying?
we're talking about gaining understanding of the world outside of us, but you gaining understanding of
Of yourself,
yourself. Like I'm
exactly.
thinking of Risa Tisa. You saw the Risa Tisa, right?
I haven't solved the
You know what? I watched
57
all
clips.
50 as it
You
was
watch every
live.
clip?
Like
No,
as
you
she
did
was dropping them,
not.
I watched it live.
How'd you catch it so soon?
Cause I was following her. I was on there like, did she read? Did she update us? Where we at? Where we at? What do you
I
do?
have
What do you do? What do you do?
no. So I only heard like all the
Oh
aftermath.
no, I watched the whole thing.
Wow.
But one thing,
That's a long
it
story.
was good though. It was like watching like a soap opera live.
Wow.
But one thing that she owned was the reason why she kind of ignored things. Some big red. I mean, there was one episode. I don't know what this is we're calling it. There's one TikTok video where she knew he lied. Like it was
Okay.
the other time she was able to like be in denial. This particular situation, she knew
Yes.
he lied, and she said she told herself, "I'm gonna let him get out of this,"
Okay.
because she didn't want. She knew her calling him out on that would blow up her whole this
Yeah.
life that she wanted.
Yeah.
And she really wanted to be married. She really wanted this man who was doing all the things that he said he was going to do. She really wanted it. And so
Right.
she was willing to ignore a lot of things because she was trying to make happen for her what she really wanted. And I think in life, not even just relationship, like in jobs, in home ownership, in
And
buying
businesses,
cars, in
especially.
businesses, we're like, I just really want this. And although this doesn't feel like the right thing, I'm just gonna ignore the
Ignore the
because
red
I really
flags.
want it, and I'm not going to gain understanding about this being this. Maybe this isn't. I'm not going to ask these
Right.
questions because if I get the answers, you know.
Someone asked me the other day, they were like, "How do you know if God is telling you no?" I'm like, "Well, one thing for me is when I was trying for something, I had a bunch of obstacles. It was roadblock after roadblock after roadblock, and it's not and whatever all the roadblocks I was having to get to the thing I wanted. I got the thing I wanted after a million roadblocks, but it came with a lot of headache that I didn't necessarily need to have. If I would have taking the time to sit down to gain understanding on about these roadblocks and be in some time of meditation and prayer, then I could have had a different outcome.
Yeah.
So gaining understanding of why there are things in your life that are happening. So and take a pause. It's okay to stop for a moment instead of keep going after the thing that you're
That I really
desiring,
want.
that
Yeah.
you really want, so that you could catch whatever is happening.
Yeah.
That's the type of mindset I encourage people to have
Yeah.
going into anything that they're doing.
And I think it's important to also have an understanding that failure does not mean. Sometimes failure is supposed to be a lesson for us.
Right.
And I think we think failure
Failure is
means
always a lesson.
yeah. I think we think it means I'm not going to get what I want because this failed or that failed.
Mm-hmm.
This I tried this business and it failed.
Mm-hmm.
And we think, okay, well, this is maybe not what I'm supposed to do. It doesn't necessarily mean that. Maybe you're supposed to learn something from that failure. If you believe in your heart that God called you to do something, or you're supposed to do something, or you're gifted in something, believe in yourself and push forward.
Right.
But don't be afraid to fail, and then try to learn from that failure. Like what understanding were you supposed to gain from this failure? What does this
Right.
closed door mean? right? Because I think every closed door is supposed to teach us something.
Yeah.
Like I had a failed podcast before this. What did I learn from that? How to do things completely different, right?
Right.
So it teaches us. So I think that even gaining that understanding when you're failing, what are you supposed to be gaining from this failure? Because you
Right.
learned so much
Exactly. What
from
are you gonna take
failure.
from this failure that you could use in your next win?
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
Next.
Okay. Next, stay open-minded.
Mm-hmm.
Be willing to change your mind. If you are really rigid in your thinking, especially as a business
Yeah.
owner, if you're running a business and you are not open-minded about how you could, bring in more revenue, how you could help, please this customer, whatever
Mm-hmm.
the case is,
Mm-hmm.
if you're not open-minded, you're not going to go very far.
No,
And
it's true.
your brain, your mindset is not going to improve if you're not open to, you know,
What's coming in
different
front of
things.
you. Yeah,
Yeah.
like what do you face? Are you willing to take advice, pivot, transition, learn from your mistakes, and then do something
Mhm.
different? Like you have to be willing to move as you're supposed to move. You
Right.
don't know everything yet, right?
Exactly. Like, don't always wish for better circumstances. Look at your circumstances and see how you could, you know, thrive
Mm-hmm.
in them. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
absolutely.
Mhm.
Our last little section, positive reinforcement,
Yes.
rewarding yourself.
One thing that so I'm really passionate about this part right here. So, you know how you have this idea about yourself where you're like, I want, like, when you are in a social setting or whatever, you like, I want to be more of myself in this space, or
Mm-hmm.
I want to communicate in this way instead
Mm-hmm.
of, this way. I don't want to be respond in a high stake situation in an angry way. I
Yeah.
want to respond in a calm way. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I'm saying? But sometimes we have that desire to want to do these things.
Mm-hmm.
But in actuality, when it comes down to like the immediate reaction, our bodies don't go with what we want to do in our heads. Our bodies go with like what's already been in memory. So your
Okay.
reactions that are commonplace
Yeah.
for you, right? So when you're actively trying to change your mindset and you see yourself making the choices that you've always wanted to make sure you pause and reward yourself for that.
Yeah.
So when
Celebrate your victories.
Exactly. So there are times and just in my head when I'm like, when I have seen myself where I've experienced, normally I would be down on myself for something.
Mm-hmm.
But instead of my initial reaction being down on myself, I'm saying something positive.
Yeah, that's
So
good.
feel and see the shift in
Yeah.
my body and my brain,
Yeah.
and I take a moment and applaud myself, because what that does is it's a lot of times, especially for high achievers, you achieve something and you move on from it like it didn't
Yeah.
happen.
100%.
But when you need to pause and reward yourself, because that triggers a signal to the reward center in your brain, and that helps you with your making this new action commonplace
Yeah.
instead of the old way. The new way is being celebrated, and you're able to keep
And I
doing
think
that.
that pours into you just appreciating yourself.
Yeah.
I think we don't always do that. Like you
Mhm.
rewarding your victories as you being like, I'm proud of me. I
Mhm.
did that. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? And pausing and it being okay to acknowledge this moment. You don't
Mhm.
have to dwell on it, but acknowledge it because you just moving past it is like it feels a little bit ungrateful.
Yeah.
It feels a little like you're not even appreciative of your blessings or your breakthroughs or your growth. Like
Mhm.
you're not appreciating all the work you put into this, the hours you
Right.
put into this, the sleep you lost.
Mhm.
You're just moving past it, and not appreciating yourself is not any better than not appreciating other people. You know what
Right.
I mean?
Mhm.
I think that also goes into, being grateful.
Yeah.
Being grateful, even if you're like, well, I don't want to celebrate. Well, at least stop and be grateful.
Right.
I'm grateful that I was able to do this. I'm grateful that I made it. I'm
Yes.
grateful that I got to this. I'm grateful that I completed this. I'm great figuring I think when you focus on positivity, the glass being half full,
Mhm.
not half empty, it
Yeah.
impacts every part of your life. Your stress,
Mhm.
your achievement, you're rewarding yourself. Like just stop taking everything for granted because so many people aren't able to do a portion of what you do.
Yeah.
So many people don't even make it to
Right.
do anything that you're doing. So just being grateful, I think pushes you to even do more. It pushes your thinking even higher because you're like, man, I was able to do that. I could do more. I could do more. I could do more. But if you're never acknowledging your movement, it's like, did it even happen?
Right.
That was last year's thing. You're not even, you know what I
Exactly.
mean?
It's like, and that's another thing. It's like, because what you wanted is delayed, you don't feel like you
Yeah.
want to celebrate because you done moved on from it.
Yeah.
But it's still something that you wanted before.
100%.
Celebrate that.
Still do it.
Yes. And it's like, you understand that you're not going to be perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Like things are not going to come exactly when you want it and how you want it to
Mm-hmm.
be. But when it does, if it doesn't, I know it could be frustrating that you're not seeing the results you want to see in your mindset, in your life, or whatever. But be patient because just be patient and consistent because it'll come
Yeah.
through.
Pour
Yeah.
into yourself good things. Good things.
Mm-hmm.
I have a friend who she has 2 master's degrees, and like now she just finished her doctorate. But we got my first master's degree was her second.
Okay.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And so we were graduating together, and she like wasn't gonna walk. And she's like,
Okay.
"This is my second one," and I was so annoyed with her.
Right.
Cause I was like, "Girl, this was a hard degree. Like
Yeah.
this is my first one, and we walking across that stage.
Right.
Cole, put your
Right.
mask on." And she's like, "I mean, this is I've already done." Girl, yes, you've had one before, but this was a 4-year program.
Right.
It was hella stressful, and you made it.
Right.
Like you're walking across that stage. And she's like, "I just never thought about that like that." So she's just gonna let this whole thing just pass by and not acknowledge it and not take
Right.
pictures and not. And no, you worked hard for that. It's okay to be proud of what you've done. And I think I think so many times we brush past.
And that affects your happiness. A lot of how we perceive our life is through our happiness lens.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're not celebrating the things to mark the times where you've accomplished something you really wanted to accomplish, that affects your happiness meter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's important. Like I'm not a mom yet, but you see that study about it?
What?
How they're correlating a child's happy childhood
Yes.
to the happiness
As a
level of their
mother.
mother.
Mm-hmm.
So even if you're not a mother like me, I'm not, but I want to be. So I'm being mindful of like, how am I treating myself? Because it will matter.
Yeah.
It will matter. Like you being happy, you celebrating victories, it will matter. Like whenever I meet people, like let's say birthdays, I meet people who like, I don't celebrate my birthday. I don't like my birthday. Usually because they didn't have great birthdays growing up, right? No one celebrated them.
Mm-hmm.
So now they're adults.
I didn't have a lot of birthday parties, so now that I'm grown, I'm having all the birthday
and it's
parties.
like celebrate, have birthdays, do it makes you feel good. And it's okay to feel good.
Yeah, it's okay. It's not bad to
It's not
celebrate yourself.
bad. Like
Yes.
we don't need no month-long situation. Like pick about
Well,
2
pause.
weekends.
No, I celebrate my birthday all
Oh
month.
Lord
I don't know what she's talking
Jesus.
about.
You got 2 weekends. The
Oh,
weekend before and the weekend after.
I got the whole month
It's
of
somebody else's
December.
birthday now.
You can celebrate all month too. We going out every weekend. What
But
are
we
you talking
gotta sing happy
about?
birthday to you every time?
You can sing happy birthday to me. That's 3 days. That's a weekend or the whole week. Okay, you have a whole week to sing me happy birthday, and then after that, we're just hanging out.
Oh my god! I don't even want the weekend before or the weekend after.
My birthday starts on the day and all the days of that month after.
Okay, well, we'll do a birthday episode for her.
Okay,
We're gonna
episodes. All of December.
Oh my
is my
gosh! Now she wants 4 episodes. You get someone an inch, they take a mile every time. But let's jump into things we wish we knew.
Okay. Already, you don't want to bring up more things?
Oh, you have more to say? Go ahead, girl.
I thought you had more to say.
I was already trinkling my says up in there.
You were saying okay, trinkle, trinkle. Okay.
Trinkle.
Okay. All right. So,
things we wish we knew.
my cue cards are jacked up. Go ahead.
I'll go first. I wish I knew that it's never too late to completely change my life. I feel like now I know that, but there's years I didn't. I thought, well, I picked this degree in undergrad, so I guess I got to do this.
Mm-hmm.
Or this is my first job, so I guess I got to stay here.
Mm-hmm.
No, I can make a complete different decision tomorrow and be a complete different person in a year and be completely happy. It's okay. And I'm so happy that I realized my mindset wasn't stuck in I made this decision, so now I'm stuck here. I'm not. I could be a whole different person tomorrow. Tomorrow I could be buff. Maybe not tomorrow.
Buff. You're not gonna be buff tomorrow.
Maybe like 90 days.
You could start. No. You could if you want to be buff, you could start tomorrow. And it's gonna
90
take
days.
So what's gonna happen is you're gonna start getting buff, and then you're gonna plateau. Then you got to figure out what to do to continue getting.
Okay, we don't have to do one step at a time because this whole ladder just stressed me out.
A buff regimen is not easy. Okay. My thing. I think ours is the same. I don't know. Do what works for you. Don't be held down by rules. So for me, I've always been a rule follower, and I'm breaking out of that now because I'm like, following the rules only works sometimes. It doesn't work all the time, and I definitely don't want to have a lackluster life because I'm so worried about breaking a rule or something like that. So, and that could be, when all the stuff that we just gave you, for instance, you don't have to do it all. Do what works for you. And just because we say or anybody says this is the right way to do it, find what works for you and stick to that instead of trying to stretch yourself in a shoe that doesn't fit type of thing.
I love that.
I
love that. The last thing I'm going to say is always think bigger. Don't be safe. Reach out for your goals. Take big risks. And think about yourself as the best person to do it.
Yes.
Don't worry about other people. And also subscribe right now. Go ahead and
subscribe.
follow,
She likes to sneak. She likes to sneak it in.
Comment. Come on, give us some love, y'all.
Yes. Let us know. Let us know what your thoughts are, what you want us to talk about.
Yes.
We'd love to share more with you guys. And this is a whole community. So join in.
Yes. And it's not just for entrepreneurs. We have a viewer who I won't name who was like, I listen to you, but I'm not a boss girl. Yes, you are.
Like, first of all, we're all bosses. This is for
it's for everyone.
Yes, you are the boss of your own life.
You are a business. Exactly. You are a brand, and you function every day. You have operating costs. You got all that. You are a business. Exactly. Okay.
So treat yourself
this
right.
Is for you.
Yes.
All right.
This is
we
for
love
y'all. All right. Bye.